So we're starting here at the end of Isches. The Rebbe explained that through teaching a smaller student, a less who needs more explanation, somebody who's on a lower level, you actually are able to reach a higher level and deeper level of the Seichel itself. And the Rebbe is saying the same thing true is with the creation of the world, that the details through the Asora Mamoris, there is a gilui of even a higher than the klal, than the Maimer Echad. The nimshol we can understand above as it relates to the 10 sayings. The Hagam Shaha Asora Mamoris Heim Haprotim da Maimer Echad. Even though the 10 sayings are details of that one saying. So if it's a detail of the one saying, the detail should be lower, it would almost seem, because it comes from the general, from the one saying, so the specifics should be a lower level. So notwithstanding that, mikol mokom yet, mitzad ze gufa, because they are a detail. And we know, mikivon sheshoyresh haprat hu lemailo mehaklal, the root of the detail, of the specific, is higher than the root of the klal. So basically, the root of the Asora Mamoris 10 is higher than the Maimer Echad. Lochein, because of that, al yidei ha'avoida beho'olam shenivra ba'asora mamoris, through the work that we do in the world that was created ba'asora mamoris, from all these details. So the fact that a prat is deeper, higher than the klal, and the world is the detail, that comes from the detail in of itself. Not only is it a detail, but it's a low detail, because this is a world where one can choose opposite the Ratzin Hashem, which is like the question, Ubefrat, especially Shemitzad Zeh Sheha'olam Nivra B'Asora Mamoris, because the world was created with 10 mamoris. And the Rebbe explained what litin sochar tov la tzadikim leporam in Rishoy means. It gave an allowance for bechira to be Rishoyim and tzadikim, punishment and schar. If it was b'maimer echad, everybody would be tzadikim. The only way, because it was created with asora mamoris, so the fact that mitzad zeh shoel nivra b'asora mamoris, Yesh efshorus livcher gam. Behepech, a person has the possibility to choose and do against the Asora Mamoris, Kinal Sivov, against Hashem. This is similar, Bedugmas Hakushi Shesoyshir Mesasechel. This is similar to the question that the Talmud asks, which contradict the logic, which brings it into a deeper level of understanding to the Rab. This fact that the world is created in a way that it's possible to challenge, to choose otherwise, through that magim lemaila yoser mebchinas haklal, you reach higher than the level of the klal, the olam, which is maimer echad. You go more than the klal of the world, which is maimer echad. But you say to Mizu, not only do we reach higher than the klal, shemagim gam le'etzem ha'ir, that you reach also the essence of the earth. Before you said, the whole klal, even if you go higher and higher, it's all hispashtus ha'ir. But the level that you attain through the world of you work with the world which is created from the pratim, you go to higher than the klal up till you reach the essence of the oir. Shalamaylo gam ha'oir, his pashtus oir. That is higher than the oir, which is the expansion of the oir. Shaboy hoya ha'lo sarotz ha'lo'elamis, in which in the pashtus oir was the rotzim for the oelamis. So you reach to that higher level. Test. So this is all the Rebbe created, explained. Started the Maimer. First, he started with Torah. Torah, how the klal is Anoich Hashem Elikecho, and then you have the Aseres, includes all the Torah, includes the 10 sayings that follow the Anoich Hashem Elikecho. Then the Rebbe brought in the idea of the world, that the Eibishter created the world, Basora Mamoris, the idea of Maimer Echad, the klal of the world. And then the Rebbe brought in the moshel of the Rav Talmud. That was the whole structure of the Maimer, how first it's in a Eifon Kloli, and then you have the Protim. So now the Rebbe explained the way from the Rav Talmud, the way it's in the world. And now the Rebbe is going to explain the same thing is also about Torah. Same thing is Hamshocha the Torah. He asked, why did the Torah not lechatchila give all the details? Why does it have to be Anoich Hashem Elokecha klal, and then we get the rest as protim? And old Mashet Tamid Vosig Osed Lechadish. Why did it have to go through that process? And just like we explained by the world that through the details you reach a higher level, same thing is here with the klal uprat, that through the prat coming from the klal, and you reach a higher level. Similar is also in the Amshocha of Torah. The fact that the Torah first extended in a way of a general. And then later on, it was detailed into details. Hinegam haprotim heim loy inyan bifnei atzmei ki im protim shenei b'maklal. So then these details aren't just their own aspect. In other words, they're not individual, they're connected. Ki protim shenei b'maklal. They always remain details that come from the klal. Because they're connected, always connected to the klal, yeshna koyach, then you have the power in the protim from the klal, shegam ba protim, the Torah shabal peh, that also the koyach from the klal in Torah shabal peh should be the klal. Ba'ad lekol ma shetalmid fosig osid lechadish. Even everything that the student will come up with the idea, with a novelty, that too should have Yibegilui Ha'oir Da'aklal, the Torah Shebiksav. So that should have openly the klal of Torah Shebiksav. We want the students' chiddush should have in it from the klal, from the Torah Shebiksav, in the chiddush of the student. V'ad lehaklal da'aseres hadibris, till you have the klal of the 10 aseres hadibris in that chiddush. In Torah Shebal Peh, everything should have the klal of aseres hadibris. What does it mean to have the klal of aseres hadibris? The aseres hadibris, we know, the Gemara says, that we received, everybody was standing in a way of awe, fear, and trembling when the Torah, and the sweat when the Torah came down. We want that experience that we learned in the klal when Aseres Hadibris should also apply to the prat, which we're learning now. Ba'ad lahaklal Aseres Hadibris shel limud kol prat shebetorah. that learning every detail of Torah, yiyeh be'emo u'beyiro u'bereses u'beziyah. That means should be with awe, with fear, with shiver, and with sweat. That the way k'moy shehoyo be'eis hamidas haseres hadibros, as the situation was when the Eibishter said the 10 sayings. We want that to transfer also to the learning of Torah in the detail. And ba'ad, to the extent, so we want whatever the general Torah has to apply to the prat, so the prat has to come from the klal, so that we can apply the klal to the prat. Ba'ad lehaklal the dibur echad, until the klal we say that everything was in one saying, sheboy nichlelu kol aseres hadibris, which all the 10 sayings were included. This is the extent that the Chiddush, not just to what took place when the Eibishter gave all 10 dibros, which is Be'emo, Yira, B'resu, B'zeya, but to the level of the Klal itself, not the 10 sayings, but the one saying, the first saying, the Dibur Echad, Sheboy Nichlu Kol Aseres HaDibros, which include all the 10 sayings. We want, this is a prat from that klal, so that the prat is infused, it gets from the klal. And the Rebbe spoke before, same thing is true by Torah, that it's not only that you get the klal, but you go even higher than the klal. The Yiseda Mezu, and even more than that, Dal Yidei Ha'iyun V'Hayigia B'Haprotim the Torah Shebal Peh. Through the intensity and effort that one invests in the details of Torah Shebal Peh, Magim L'maylo Gam B'Chinas HaKlal, you go and reach even higher than the klal. The Zehu Masha Omru, that's why they say Kol Masha Talmig Vosig Osig L'Chadash. The sages say that everything, all that a studious, a Talmid Vosik is going to, they use the word L'Chadash. It doesn't say what he's going to learn, or other language, it says L'Chadash. The word L'Chadash Tafka, specifically a Chidush. A Chidush means something new. He says it is even more than what was before. It's not just that you're mamshich the klal, but you actually are mechadish. You bring something new, and that comes more through taked effort in Torah. Al yidei hayegia b'Torah, but through the effort in Torah, mamshichim mibchinas haTorah, we draw down from the level of Torah. As Torah is rooted in the essence of the Atzmi, the obscure Atzmi of the Ein Sof, which is higher than the level of Torah, than the Torah as it comes and drawn down and revealed. The revealed Torah is one level, but the level of Torah, which is rooted in Helam Atzmi, that you get through Yigi and the Protim. V'zeu Yogaitu Matzosi. That's why it says you put in effort, you find. Find is something Inyan Hamitzia Matzosi, you saying? Ushemoitze Dover Chodosh. That means that you find something new. In the beginning, you cannot have estimated. You didn't imagine you'll find it. Just like when you find something that comes without attention, it removed your mind. You don't expect. You don't find something. A finding is something you just happen to chance on it. And so that's meaning it was Hesach Hadas. The effort that a student, Yogaiti, You get a metzia, not the cloud was there. That was there before already. You get something new. A metzia, fine. Ad shal yidei hayigia b'Torah, to the extent through the effort in Torah. Ubefrat pnim b'pnimius haTorah shehi me'ein Torah Mashiach. Working hard in Torah, especially the inner part of Torah. The inner part of Torah is me'ein, is somewhat of the Torah Mashiach. And when we learn it achshav, yigia b'Torah achshav, we study now in Torah, nizke, which is from the teachings of Mashiach, will teach also Pneumis HaTorah. Nizke legilu Torah shel Mashiach, we shall merit the revelation of the teaching, the Torah Mashiach. Shabo b'hesach hadas. Mashiach is one of the things that comes without expectation, hesach hadas. As the pasuk says, Motzasi David Avdi. I found my servant David, which is referring to Mashiach Motzasi Davke, in a way of a Metzia. Sha'oz Yiyah Gilui Atzmus Eirein Sof Bli Levush. Then, by Mashiach's coming, the revelation of the Atzmus Eirein Sof will be without a Levush. No garment, lo yikonef oid meirecho, but not hidden. Va'ad shegam hagilui b'shas matan Torah hoyarak me'ein hagilui losi. To such an extent will there be a greater revelation, that the revelation that took place by matan Torah will be only somewhat of the revelation of losi, which means there will be a tremendous gilui, a greater level. The bias Mashiach Tzidkenu, by the coming of righteous Mashiach B'Korev Mamish very soon. So the Rebbe explained that also through Torah now and the effort in Torah and the details of Torah, not only do we have the klal in Torah, we have the Emo Yira V'Reses V'Zeya, that in Torah we have the klal of Anoich Hashem Elikecho. But actually, we come to a higher level. We come to the Chidush, Osid Lechadish, Yogaitu, Motzasi, and we get the Torah as it's in a higher level, which prepares us for the coming of Mashiach, B'Korev Mamish. Okay. So now, let's do the next mimer. Let me just shut it off here. How do I do that? I don't know how to. Trying to figure out how do I stop the. How do I stop? I'm afraid if I go out, will you come in again? I don't know how to shut off the video here.
Okay, let me get out. And then
let me come on again. I'm just shutting it and log on again, okay? To the next mimer. I'm just not sure how to do this. Okay, I'm shutting it. Come on again. Sorry.